going on, everybody out there? Hope you're having a good Friday. This is show number 2 of the day. It's close to 5 o'clock, I think. Something like that. Anyways, this video is my Year in Wrestling series. This is the Year in Wrestling 2010 Part 2. I'll be talking about after WrestleMania, Extreme Rules, and pay-per-views leading up to SummerSlam. I'll also talk about some TNA shows and the main events, and I will discuss the entire show for Slammiversary. And I'll talk about SummerSlam in my next video, in Part 3. Anyways, I'm going to talk about some TNA now. In the TNA on Monday night on Spike TV in 2010. RVD challenged AJ Styles. Rob Van Dam debuted in TNA in 2010. I believe debuted on a Monday night episode of TNA. Anyways, RVD got a title shot against AJ Styles. AJ was accompanied by Ric Flair was his manager. But I think Flair was banned from ringside. Anyways, this was a main event of a TNA on Monday night on Spike. RVD wins the TNA World title. It was a pretty great moment. I was happy for RVD. I was a big TNA fan in 2010, so I was really happy for RVD that he won the title. And then they had confetti come down on RVD. Hulk Hogan came out. A lot of the roster baby faces came out. Hogan came out. Dixie Carter got in the ring. They're raising RVD's hand and hugging him, giving him the push. And then the baby faces lifted up RVD on their shoulders. So RVD got a big push as TNA World Champion. In my opinion, instead of RVD challenging AJ, they could have had Samoa Joe return and challenge AJ Styles for the title and win it, but no, they didn't. Instead, Samoa Joe was put and returned in a gauntlet battle royal, or a gauntlet match. He returned on a TNA Monday night during a gauntlet match. So, in my opinion, they should have treated Joe better and put Joe in the world title match against AJ. And as far as AJ Styles' look, where he had a Ric Flair type robe and he had a hood with feathers, it was stupid. It did not, in my opinion, did not fit AJ Styles at all. Wearing a Ric Flair robe, kind of trying to act like the Nature Boy, it was stupid. It did not fit AJ at all. You could tell AJ was not a fan of doing it. But he wore the Ric Flair robe and hood. He had his name on the back of the robe. I believe it said Phenomenal or AJ Styles on it. It just did not fit AJ Styles, making him act like a Ric Flair clone. It was stupid. And putting Ric Flair with AJ was stupid also, because AJ didn't need Ric Flair. Nothing against Ric Flair, great talker, but AJ Styles did not need Ric Flair as a manager to get AJ over. AJ was already over, and AJ would have been a fine heel on his own. So now, on to more of TNA on Monday night. I believe this was in May of 2010. I think it was in May. Jay Lethal came out, started cutting a promo and doing a Ric Flair imitation. It was epic. It was great. It was funny as hell. It was awesome TV. It was great stuff. Jay Lethal was doing Ric Flair almost better than Ric Flair. And then Ric Flair comes out and is pretty pissed about it. Gets on the mic, goes back and forth with AJ Styles. They have a wooing contest. Ric Flair goes, woo! And Jay Lethal's going back and forth, woo, 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 woo. Back and forth is funny as hell. It was great TV. Very entertaining. And then Ric Flair gets in the ring and Jay Lethal breaks character of doing his impression and says, Rick, I didn't mean any disrespect. I've been a fan of yours since I was a kid. He goes, no disrespect. And then Ric Flair yells at him, "Who the hell do you think you are, kid?" And then Ric Flair, I believe, slaps Jay Lethal, starts beating the crap out of him. Throws him in the corner, chops him. Jay Lethal starts fighting back. It was pretty good. And then a lot of guys came out and started attacking Jay Lethal. I believe their name was Fortune, Kazarian, AJ Styles, and I think Beer Money came out and attacked AJ. Or not AJ. AJ Kazarian, Beer Money, I believe, attacked Jay Lethal with Ric Flair. Might have been Christopher Daniels also in there attacking Jay Lethal. But then you had the Dudley, or AJ Kaz, Beer Money. They attacked Jay Lethal. And then the Dudley Boys, Team 3D, Rob Van Dam, Abyss, they make the save and help Jay Lethal. And then they go to break. They come back from break and everybody is brawling. Team 3D, RVD, Abyss are brawling with AJ Kaz and Beer Money. It was pretty awesome. Big brawl going on. That segment probably went 25-35 minutes. It was pretty awesome. Now on to WWE's pay-per-view, Extreme Rules. Before I talk about Extreme Rules, I just want to say Ring of Honor did have a TV deal in 2010, but their last show was, I believe, in May or April of 2010. Ring of Honor was on HD Net. They were on there from 2009 until 2010, so at least Ring of Honor had a cable TV deal back then. And I'm glad to have a TV deal now. So now on the WWE Extreme Rules. Main event was, two main events were Sheamus defeated Triple H in a street fight. And then we had Edge defeat Chris Jericho in a steel cage. I think that was for the World Heavyweight Championship. I think. Anyways, the main event was WWE Champion John Cena defeating Batista by countout in a last man standing match. So Batista couldn't get up for the 10 count. Now on to Over the Limit pay-per-view, which took place in May 2010. Main event was World Heavyweight Champion, Jack Swagger lost to the Big Show by DQ. Or Big Show defeats Jack Swagger by DQ. Jack Swagger cashed in the Money in the Bank in May, I think in May on SmackDown, defeated Jericho to win the World Heavyweight title. Swagger would not be a long reigning champion at all. Divas champion Eve Torres defeated Maurice. I was always a huge fan of Maurice. Loved it when she was Divas champion. WWE champion John Cena again defeated Batista in an I Quit match for their third pay-per-view match in a row. Up next, Fatal 4-Way. Took place in June 2010. Main event was Sheamus defeating WWE Champion John Cena, Edge, and Randy Orton in a Fatal 4-Way to win the WWE Championship. Also, Intercontinental Champion Kofi Kingston defeated Drew McIntyre. I'm sure they had a good match. World Heavyweight Champion Jack Swagger, Rey Mysterio defeated World Heavyweight Champion Jack Swagger, CM Punk, and The Big Show in a Fatal 4-Way, so Rey Mysterio became World Heavyweight Champ. That's Fatal 4-Way. Pretty good pay-per-view. Now, on to Money in the Bank, which was in July. The Money in the Bank first. The SmackDown Money in the Bank ladder match. Kane wins it. Defeats Cody Rhodes, Christian, Matt Hardy, Kofi Kingston, Big Show, and Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre. And later on, Kane would cash in Kane cashed in on World Heavyweight Champion Rey Mysterio Jr. to win the World Heavyweight Championship. That's pretty shocking, pretty surprising. I was happy for Kane. Raw, Money in the Bank, ladder match for Monday Night Raw was The Miz won it and defeated Randy Orton, Edge, John Morrison, Mark Henry, Chris Jericho, Evan Bourne, and Ted DiBiase Jr. To me, both Money in the Banks are pretty good. They were both the same to me. Miz winning was more shocking than Kane winning. I will say I was pretty surprised that Miz won. And then, not later, but I don't remember. I think he cashed in and lost. Anyways, main event was WWE Champion Sheamus defeating John Cena. Now I'm going to talk about TNA pay-per-views from 2010, from May until August. Sacrifice, which took place May 16th, 2010, from the Impact Zone. Knockouts champion Madison Rayne defeated Tara in a good match. I was a big fan of Madison Rayne as a heel when she was champion in 2010. Main event was World Champion Rob Van Dam defeating AJ Styles. On to Slammiversary now. That took place in June. Kurt Angle defeated Kazarian by submission. X Division Champion Doug Williams defeated Brian Kendrick. Knockouts Champion Madison Rayne defeated Roxy. And I believe Roxy was defeated, so she had to retire and leave TNA. Or had to leave TNA if she lost. And she did lose. My throat is going out on me, getting sore as hell. Anyways, where was I? Jesse Neal defeated Brother Ray. Matt Morgan defeated Hernandez by DQ. Abyss defeated Desmond Wolfe in a Monsters Ball match. That was pretty good. Desmond Wolfe had a female manager, which was she's pretty damn hot. Her name was, I believe, Chelsea. And she accused Abyss before Slammiversary. I believe she accused Abyss of touching her inappropriately in a bathroom. And she had part of her dress was ripped. And then Abyss was arrested on Monday Night Impact. It was pretty funny. But Desmond Wolfe eventually stopped wrestling in TNA and left, probably because of health issues, and Chelsea, his manager, very sexy-looking woman, Chelsea, disappeared from TNA. I believe she went back, started doing modeling, because she was a model before TNA. She's flat-chested, but I didn't care. She was still hot. That doesn't bother me if you're hot. Anyways, what was I talking about? Slammiversary. Abyss defeated Desmond Wolfe in Monsters Ball. Jay Lethal defeated AJ Styles. Jeff Hardy and Mr. Anderson, they made a pretty good team. They were a short-lived team, but they worked well together. Jeff Hardy, Mr. Anderson defeated Beer Money. Main event was World Champion RVD Rob Van Dam defeated Sting. And this was, I don't know, this was kind of weird. TNA started like trying to turn Sting heel in 2010. It didn't really work. He was doing a lot of heel stuff. I mean, in one of the TNAs on Monday night, Sting went up to Dixie Carter, grabbed her by her throat, pushed her up against a wall. That was kind of weird. Tried to turn heel, beat the crap out of Jeff Jarrett on a TNA on Monday night, beat the hell out of him, ripped his arm out of its socket, and like just beat the crap out of him. So Sting did everything to try to be heel, but he was still kind of cheered. And I did not enjoy seeing Sting work as a heel. I think he belongs as a babyface for his entire career. Anyways, on to Victory Road. Main event was Rob Van Dam defeating Abyss, Jeff Hardy, and Mr. Anderson in a fatal four-way dance. Now on the Hardcore Justice, I'll talk about the August TNA pay-per-view, which was a ECW reunion show. Tommy Dreamer booked it. I believe TNA brought Tommy Dreamer in as part of the roster, and he booked this entire show. Dreamer did a pretty good job. It was like a ECW one-night stand, it felt like. Even though the ECW one-night stands, in my opinion, were better than Hardcore Justice. Start off with the FBI, Little Guido, and Tony Mamaluke, and Tracy Smothers, who were not a part of TNA. They were just brought in for this Hardcore Justice. They took on and defeated Kid Cash, Simon Diamond, and Johnny Swinger. I don't understand why Diamond and Swinger were teaming with Kid Cash, because in ECW, Simon Diamond and Johnny Swinger were heels. So, whatever. Weird that they were put with Kid Cash. Anyways, up next, Two Cold Scorpio returned to pay-per-view. He looked damn good. He was in great shape, and he had a damn good match. Two Cold Scorpio defeated C.W. Anderson. C.W. Anderson, especially in 2000, really became a great worker in ECW. I was a fan of his. Guy became a great worker. Sad he never got a WWE run. He wasn't ECW's WWE brand, but WWE never used C.W. Anderson much at all, and they probably released him. Anyways, up next, Stevie Richards defeated Just Incredible. Rhino defeated Brother Runt and Al Snow in a three-way dance. Brother Runt was Spike Dudley. They just couldn't call him Spike Dudley. I guess because WWE owns a Dudley's name. Team 3D, Brother Devon and Brother Ray defeated Boz Mahoney and Axel Rotten. And this was ridiculous because TNA couldn't call Boz Mahoney Boz Mahoney. They had to call him Cojones, which was ridiculous. I guess WWE owned Boz Mahoney's name when he's part of their ECW, which was ridiculous. I don't know why they want to own the name Boz Mahoney. They probably didn't even make $200 off of it. Anyways, so after Boz, or the Dudley, basically the Dudleys, Team 3D defeated Boz Mahoney and Axel Rotten. I think a flaming table is lit, and somebody might have went through it, or not. Or they just lit a table on fire and then they put it out somehow. Tommy Dreamer was defeated by Raven. This was a damn good match. A lot of history there. Great rivalry. One of the greatest feuds in wrestling history. Raven versus Tommy Dreamer, in my opinion. One of the best feuds ever, because Raven defeated Tommy for 2 straight years before Tommy Dreamer even beat him. Anyways, Raven defeats Dreamer, gets a lot of heat in this match. Dreamer is bleeding like crazy, and the Raven started putting Dreamer's face right up to Dreamer's twin daughters and showing them their father. And Raven just got great heat. Raven always was a great heel. Main event was world champion Rob Van Dam taking on one of his best friends, Sabu, and RVD defeated Sabu. Pretty good main event, pretty good match, pretty good end to Hardcore Justice. If I give it a rating for an ECW reunion show, I give it a 8.5. I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed the one night stands more, probably because they had better production and better younger talent on them. And I mean younger because this was 2005 and 6. The guys, the ECW originals were still in their prime. A lot of them were, and they could still go. In 2010, a lot of them could not go anymore. Except Little Guido, Kid Cash, Tony Mamalu could still go. Two Cold Scorpio could still go. C.W. Anderson still could. Stevie Richards still could. Rhino, Just Incredible, still could. Team 3D still could. Raven and Tommy Dreamer still could go. And RVD and Sabu were still pretty good. And they could go too. So this ends my year in wrestling 2010 part 2. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great Friday evening. Have a great Friday night. Have a great weekend. Follow me on Twitter if you would like. If you have a Twitter, follow me at TNA WWE Guy. I tweet every Monday night. I tweet every pay-per-view. I try to tweet every NXT. I try to tweet TNA every show. I try to tweet even SmackDowns. So, follow me on Twitter at TNA WWE Guy and at NXT WWE Guy. Hope you enjoyed this year in wrestling video. 2010 part 2 in the books. Bye for now, everybody.